love this comic book, The Walking Dead, book number 40. The baby is born, and everyone is happy for Rick and Lori. Suddenly, Andrea bursts in the door and screams that she needs help. Dale has been bitten, and Tyrese, Michonne, Axel, and Glenn are bringing him inside. Noticing Billy's absence from the room, Herschel asks if they saw him, and Glenn assures him that he's fine and heading to the generator to power it up. Alice asks what Andrea expects her to do. Andrea says that she should cut off his foot, but Herschel says that killed Alan. Rick notes that blood loss and or late amputation killed him, and they should cut it off before the infection spreads. Andrea and Dale agree, but Alice can't do it, so Rick does. Herschel ties up Dale's foot, and Rick cuts it off. Dale blacks out. Hours later, Andrea is shocked and asks how Dale is doing. And Alice tells her he's fine. While the others are stopping the bleeding, Rick feels upset about the world today. Lori wants to name her child Judith. Billy is also upset when the group is talking about the attack because he ran away when Dale got bitten. Meanwhile, Rick and Carl are talking about Judith, and Carl says he likes his sister's name. Rick asks if Carl had fun with Sophia, Ben, and Billy. Carl says that he had fun, but he also adds that Carol cries a lot. Dale's waking up, so Alice leaves Andrea and him alone. Dale tells Andrea he's okay, but Andrea starts to cry and starts to yell at him out of relief. She calls him a pathetic, useless man. Dale understands why she's yelling, knowing that she is just relieved he's okay, and he apologizes to her and says that he loves her. Meanwhile, Rick and Carl are visiting Lori and Judith, and Carl says that she's cute and lucky. She doesn't know anything about how life used to be. She won't be scared all of the time. She'd think everything is normal. Alex, Billy, and Herschel are picking some vegetables, and Herschel says that it's early July, but it feels like August. And Billy responds, feels like hell. Religious Herschel gives him a tongue lashing and says that it's not a joke. Billy apologizes, and they all continue picking. Axel is seen glancing at the two. Later, Lori notes that Judith is now 2 weeks old and remarks that she's nothing like Carl. Rick says that the first year does go by fast and that she'll be running around soon enough. Meanwhile, Dale wakes up and Andrea comes into his cell. Dale says that he's dreaming every night that he still has 2 legs. Andrea puts on a sympathetic face, but Dale lashes out that he doesn't want her pity. Dale wants Andrea to help him to the wheelchair, but Andrea has a surprise for him. She has brought him crutches, and Dale is happy for them. Andrea reminds him that stairs are still going to be tough, but that crutches are a step in the right direction. Dale agrees. In the shower room, Rick and Glenn are talking about marriage. Glenn states that marriage is the best thing that ever happened to him. Rick advises him, give it time. Later, when the group is shooting cans, Dale arrives and tries to sit down. Rick goes to help him, and Dale gives a speech saying that living behind the fences for so long made him forget that the zombies are dangerous. He wasn't on top of his guard, and that's why he got bitten. He says that the prison cost him a foot. Rick says that besides the incident a few weeks ago, things are going pretty well. Dale agrees and states that he's waiting to see how long it lasts. He looks jealously at Andrea and Tyrese, who look happy. No one gets any real time to celebrate this birth, as the group rushes into the infirmary with Dale. Everyone is at a loss for a moment, but they quickly decide to amputate to prevent any infection and Dale from dying. Rick is the one who cuts his leg off below the knee. Alice is able to stop the bleeding. I'm guessing she uses medicine on hand to prevent infection. 2 weeks later, Dale seems very recovered. He has not died, and he's not become a zombie. Dale is still Dale. Andrea took this the hardest. It is nice that she found him some crutches, though, so he doesn't just have to wheel around. Carl meets his new little sister. He likes her name and thinks she's cute. That's good. Many older siblings take a long time to warm up to new babies. The baby is very good too. We haven't heard about screaming or fussing or anything like that. I assume that Carl was very fussy because both Rick and Lori keep commenting on how different they are. Shooting practice again. It's wise. No one knows how many armed crazies are still at Woodbury. They could come under attack at any time and need to defend themselves. Everyone seems to be getting better except for Tyrese. I hope he is still good with his hammer. Rick and Dale have a conversation about how the current situation is. Dale is very philosophical about his leg situation. He lost a leg, but kept his life. It's a good way to think. Staying positive has to be quite a challenge in this situation, even with smaller things. Thanks for tuning in to the I Love This Comic Book podcast. If you would like to make a donation in support of this podcast, you can through Cash App to Pasta26MC. That's pasta like the food, the number 2, the number 6, M as in monkey, C as in cat. If you would like to sponsor this podcast or advertise on it, please send an email to podcast@pastasworld.com. As always, you can go to pastasworld.com for more information.